Hi guys and welcome to the FIFA 23 SBC review. EA have released at the end of an era Frank Ribery as a 90 rated card. He looks pretty good on the face of it. We're going to have a look at some of his in-game stats now and then see how he compares to I think a rule breaker card that he got as well, and see how much that's going for on the market. 4 segments, 2, we'll have to see whether he's worth it from that point of view as well. First of all, 5-star, 5 stars, grace, high, medium work rate as well, so that is already perfect. You are restricted to using this card on the left-hand side. I think his rule breakers card is as a striker from memory. In terms of his pace, it's fine. Shooting, passing, pretty good. Dribbling, fantastic. Stamina, nice. Physicality isn't so good, but then he is playing as a winger, so it's not the end of the world. And 2 nice player traits in flair and outside foot shots. There are certainly a lot of other wingers in this game that probably, from a tradable standpoint, might cost less than what it would in terms of coins you'd have to spend to complete this SBC, or the high amounts of club assets that you have to complete this SBC. I think there's probably better value for money or better value for your club asset left winger cards in this game. But from a Serie A perspective, if you're only running a Serie A team, no one's coming to mind from a left-hand side Serie A player that would be anywhere near as good as him. So if you are running a Serie A team, and in particular if you're running a Serie A team of wingers, there's a lot of incentive to do it. I think the next best one is Rafael Leao's Player of the Month that came out on Friday. We'll have to compare those two cards. That'll be interesting to see if this stacks up as good value for money. But it is quite expensive by the looks of things. An 84 rated for Team of the Week, an 85, an 87, and an 88 rated. Now, obviously, he is good for squad building in that, you know, he plays in the Major League for the Serie A, and he's also French at the same time, and there are obviously an abundance of amazing French players in this game. But we'll need to compare him. I want to first of all compare him to his rule breakers and see how much his rule breakers card actually goes for on the market as well. That's going to be our first kind of tell, sign as to whether this card has been terribly valued from an SBC perspective. So the card in the middle is his end of an era card. The card on the left is his rule breaker cards. So the rule breakers has got 1 more pace, 3 more shooting, 2 less physical. They've both got the same dribbling, 2 more defending, but no real need to compare those. The major differences between the two cards, the only really noticeable difference is the passing difference, which is obviously good because for the left winger, you'd want to have that more passing. I mean, what's the passing like on the centre forward one? You know, see, if this rule breakers cards was the end of an era card as a left winger with 78 vision, 79 long passing, 82 short passing, that wouldn't be great. For this one as a left winger, you needed to have that better passing, and EA have gone and done that. His crossing still isn't the best, but you can obviously still increase that. But his passing all round is pretty good for this card as a left winger. You know, and in terms of the rest of the stats, you're not going to notice a difference between the physicality. You won't notice a difference in the defending. You won't notice a difference in the pace. The free shooting difference, are you really going to notice a difference there? Probably not. It's not that much of a difference of just free overall stats. I mean, how does their finishing and shot power differ? So on the rule breakers, 87 to 89, 86 to 86. So, yeah, literally 1 less finishing. The positioning at 95 compared to 90 is going to be a little bit noticeable. Likewise for his penalties and volleys. But the other shooting stats of long shots, finishing, and shot power, there really isn't much of a difference. And in my personal opinion, they're the 3 stats that matter most from a striker. The penalties and long shots really matter that way. The penalties and volleys really matter. Of course, it's nice if they're high. But in terms of the shooting stats, volleys and penalties are the least important out of those. And that's 2 of the areas where Ribery's shooting on the rule breakers is far superior to the end of an era one. And then you look at the rest of the stats and there's not too much of a difference. There is a little bit in the attack positioning, but still not, you know, that bad. But let's go and see how much the rule breakers card actually sells for on the market, and then I want to compare him to Rafael Leao. First of all, at the moment my impressions are he is pretty good. He's expensive, but if you've got a Serie A team and in particular you're running ringers, there's a lot of incentive to go and do him, in my opinion, because I think he'll play pretty well in the game. His stamina's good as well, which is obviously really important. So in terms of his rule breakers cards, was never ever a fan of this promo last year. Was certainly not a fan of the promo again this year. He sells for around about, I wonder if he's crushing in price at the moment. Let's do 580. Yeah, he is crushing. Look how many people are listing him. So, I mean, this isn't a fair reflection on what his price initially would have been. I have no doubt he'll climb up a little bit again the next few hours. He's selling for around 561,000 coins as a tradable card. Now, in terms of what the SBC requires, how much is that going to cost in terms of either coins or club assets? Probably less than what you'd have to buy this card off the market. Personally, if someone said to me, which card would you rather want, the Rule Breakers one or the End of an Era one? Probably the End of an Era cards, in all honesty. But at the same time, you have to look at it and think, well, the Striker one is probably better geared to being a striker within this game. He's got the more shooting, the less passing, which doesn't matter too much, the little bit more pace. And on the Rule Breakers one, for the left winger one, he's got the more passing, which I'm a massive fan of. He's still got good enough shooting for a left winger, so it's almost a little bit unfair to compare the two cards because they can't play in the same position. They're both in different positions. One's central as a striker or a centre forward. The other one is having to play it on the wing. But personally, if someone was to say to me which card just from an in general attacking perspective do I like the look of more, it's probably the End of an Era one that's just come out today, in my personal opinion. But I want to see what this Rafael Leao card looks like. I want to see what other left wingers in general look like from the Serie A before I make my final decision as to whether I think in general the SBC is worth it or not. So let's have a look at left midfielders first. Not much going on there. I mean, I know that Kostic, I think that's in swaps, isn't too bad, but he's not going to be competing with that Ribery or anything like that. There is an out of position Theo Hernandez here. I just don't think he'll work. I mean, I think you're going to really notice that. 85 dribbling on a winger right now at this stage of the game, I am not really that much of a fan of. Rafael Leao, on the other hand, he's got one less dribbling, he's got more pace, but then far less passing, far less shooting. Fair enough, yes, more less physicality. 4-star, not as a good work rate as well. Rupert's got a better work rate, he's got better skill moves and weak foot. And the 5-star is an excellent asset to have an attacker in this game. And Leao simply doesn't have that. His passing is way off the mark as well of Ribery. His shooting is as well. He is the best left-hand sided player that you can get in the Serie A. And based on that, that's obviously pretty cool. Yes, he's expensive. I wouldn't go out if you don't have a Serie A team, I wouldn't go out of your way to just kind of dump all your coins or assets into doing him. But if you have got a Serie A team, he's a great upgrade from that kind of side of things. So if you've got a Serie A team, he's worth it. If not, wouldn't, sacrifice your whole club into doing them. But anyway, guys, that'll finish this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later.